Hey guys, the Great and Powerful Mystery.
JClone71.
And this is part 2 of Randy's interview. So we went a little long, so we decided to split it in half. So there's not going to be any intros. They're just going to come rolling right back into the middle of the conversation. Probably around a pee break, because there were several of them. So anything to add, Jay, before we get rocking and rolling?
Just enjoy this epic part 2 episode with interview with Randy.
All right, guys, enjoy. I got stuff for you.
Holy moly.
I need to get some snakes and release them around my house.
But they love eating people. They love eating kids.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
Every day that you open your mouth,
I know, right?
I'm more convinced that you're abducted by aliens.
No.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
These are idiots.
I was laughing reading this because I already knew how you would feel.
Idiot. What part of the story fits your balloon?
Well,
This isn't a UFO. But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Well, Mothman.
Oh yeah, Mothman.
Well, everyone, I think we know exactly what it is. So say it all with me. It was the sandhill crane.
Would you try it?
No.
You wouldn't eat it?
No.
Why?
Because they're probably toxic. There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. Seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree. I mean,
Go ahead.
no, it's amazing. So with my Bigfoot encounter, I hit a barn, and for everybody at home, I'm going to share the pictures you sent of the camper.
Yep.
It looks almost identical to how the barn looked.
Mm.
And I have like I said, this is a decade and a half ago at this point.
For you, yeah.
For me, yeah. So
Yeah,
I have
this
no
was just this last summer.
So for my encounter with it and the hitting the barn and leaving the knuckle marks, it looks very, very similar. And that picture actually gave me chills out of the many you sent, because I don't have a picture of that. You know, it doesn't exist as far as I know. I mean, unless somebody else in that
Took one.
Yeah, but as far as I know, it doesn't.
Right.
And it's about the closest thing I have to anything like that. But they stopped, like you said, after you asked. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And I asked them to keep coming to the house and hit the house and have fun and do all that, because I'm inviting them to come to the house all the time.
right.
Some people say, Randy, maybe you shouldn't do that, but I am doing that. I do. I mean,
You've been
the other
doing
time,
enough years.
yesterday I did it again.
If they were going to take you, they'd have took you.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. People ask me, Randy, why don't you sit all night long in your deer stand? The reason why I'm not doing that is because I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. Not yet. And Bear and all them, they can see at nighttime. I can only see where my flashlight goes.
Right? Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous that way.
Well, also, like you said, the other things, the non-Bigfoot things are, as far as I'm concerned, are much, much, much more scary.
Right.
And
Right.
the beef they have with Bigfoot seems to be extremely, extremely violent. And I mean, we've had how many stories come in with the Bigfoot dog, man, the fights and the orbs and the UFO, like whatever UFOs are and whatever orbs are, it's all that. But
Yeah.
you don't really want to get yourself stuck in the middle of one of those.
No, and I got lots of orbs. Did you see some of the orb
Yes.
pictures and videos?
The videos.
But anyways, okay. I've seen them come out of a portal before.
I want to hear
I
about
had
that.
Somebody with me that was sitting with me and seeing the same thing. So it ain't just me talking about it. John Badger has seen Sasquatch here before and had a lot of. He was one of those flesh and blood guys, and yes, not cryptid. Sasquatch is flesh and blood when they're here in the physical form. Of course they are. They leave tracks. They leave hair. I got 30 envelopes of hair, and I don't pick up bear hair, deer hair. I know all that stuff. In fact, I got a bear rug on my wall, so I don't know the difference. The hair will be long like that. It'll be in the power line pole, high up, some low. I think, opinion again, I think they're scratching their back what else would it be?
I'll do that. I literally have a frame in my house that's just for that.
Yeah.
4th generation.
But anyways, he asked me, Randy, can I got this brand new camera? Can we go back on the state land and you want deer stand and put a camera up? New SD card, new batteries. I said, yeah, let's do that. So we do that, and I put some apples and some peanut butter there. Well, we get into the stand, it's about 50 yards away, but we're all in the woods. We can't see that camera. And that stand was made for one person. So he's sitting on my little stool chair, and I'm standing up. And about 11 o'clock at night, it's so dark out, I can't see him, but we're right together. My shoulder's almost touching his shoulder. And to the east, I see this doorway looking thing. It's about 3 or 4 doorways wide. I don't know how tall it is, but it's real tall. But it looks like the northern lights, kind of yellowish, greenish, bluish, reddish, kind of shimmering, kind of moving like and shimmering like. And I'm looking at it. I don't say nothing to him yet. I take my glasses off, rub my eyes. Am I seeing that? I say to myself, yes, I am. Put my glasses on. I whisper to John. I said, John, you see that? He said, yes, he'd been watching it. All of a sudden, 2 orangish looking orbs come out of it. Big. But they're walking. We can hear their footsteps in the leaves because it's in the fall. And they're walking over. We hear them walking good. They walk over towards that camera and that peanut butter. And we're all excited, we're watching. All of a sudden, they come back. And the first one is not in orb form. I see the cone head, the red eyes, the shoulders, arms swinging back and forth. And the one behind it is in orb form. They go to that doorway looking thing, and it's all gone. We sit in the stand for a little bit, excited about it, talking about it. We get down, go over, get the camera. The apples are gone, peanut butter is gone. The batteries are dead, and the SD cards are wiped clean. There's not even a picture of when we set the camera up for a timestamp. We've seen it. We've seen it.
So, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I was reading the book, that was the part that fascinated me the most, was that account right there.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds amazing. I mean,
Right.
It really does.
Because we've heard of portals and all sorts of stuff, but hardly does anyone ever get to see one and see stuff coming out of it, and then going back into it.
Yeah. This would be a dumb question, but you guys, can you see the northern lights in Ohio where you're from?
So no, but however, this year we
did.
saw them. It was twice. Somehow,
And they're going to be again in this month.
wow.
Were they colorful or were they just white?
Green
And
just plain
purple
green.
or pink. Green and pink.
I don't see
Well,
red.
there you
yeah.
go. That's what we've seen, but it was kind of orangish and whitish too. So
So,
we see them better here.
Would the
but it wasn't
gasoline
northern lights we were seeing?
Would
Right.
like the shimmer of gasoline for anybody? Most people know what that is. Would that kind of be like what it was
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
on water
for
or
sure.
whatever? It gives that.
Yeah, kind of like that there. Yes. Yep.
So, I mean, that's amazing. So, was it square? Was it round? Did it have
It
a
was
shape?
rectangular, like a doorway.
Like a doorway.
door.
Okay.
Yep. But it was 3 or 4 doorways wide. Of course, we're not measuring it.
No, but
it was big.
roughly, you're talking
Mhm.
there's
It
big.
was bigger than this doorway that I'm sitting by. It was wider than this.
Because we've heard of portals too, like being caught on film and like thermal camera, where
Now,
right.
you're being very careful what you're about
I'm
to
not.
say.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything like that. But just the shape. It's never really like round. At least when I've
No, it's
when I've
very
heard it.
square or
Yeah.
rectangle square.
Absolutely,
it has from at least the stories. I mean, not the stories. I believe the stories I find credible
Mhm.
has a very very rectangular shape.
right.
Whether it's people we've interviewed from like the Uinta Basin, Skinwalker Ranch areas, or New Zealand, or it's
Mhm.
and so I find that fascinating. You'd seen it, and so was it? I guess I want to know the angle at it to you. Were they walking straight out towards you? Was it off at a side angle, or how'd you see the portal open?
We're here, like I'm sitting right now.
Yep.
The doorway was straight in front of us, and they were walking like this over to my gifting area.
So they are probably
At an
walking
angle.
away from you. What is that? A
Yeah, they were walking away.
55-degree angle or something like that?
Yes, 45-degree angle.
45,
maybe.
50. Yeah. So
And that's where my gifting area was over there. If there was no trees, I'd be able to see it. And that's the same one where they threw the stuffed animal out. Now, the ones I got here do not like things with eyes. They don't
That's
like
weird.
things with eyes. I'll tell you about that.
I'm going to
One
hear
year,
about it.
A few years ago, I thought, well, I'll put a red stuffed animal out there. I heard they like red. And this was before I had the mind speak of what they are and all that. So I put the stuffed animal out there by my wooden blocks and stuff. And all my activity stopped. It stopped for over like a week for sure. And I'm thinking, well, what's different? They didn't take peanut butter, apples, or nothing. It just stopped. And I thought, well, what's different? The only thing that's different is this red stuffed teddy bear I put out here. I took that out of there, and all my activity started up instantly. I go back the next day, and the peanut butter is gone, apples are gone, and they moved my stuff around. And then I brought that eraser board that they wreck now, and I drew a stick man on there. And I wrote an arrow. I said, this is Randy. Can you draw on this eraser board? And I left a marker there. All my activity stopped. Same thing, about a week. And I thought, what's different? That stick man with the eyes. I erased that out of there. All my activity started again. They didn't write on the board, but they took the food and the apples and moved my little trinkets around. So they don't like things with eyes, at least the ones here anyways.
Yeah.
I can't explain that, but that's what happened.
Yeah, right. So, something happened. That was the common denominator. But why?
Yeah,
I don't even have a guess.
You don't?
I know.
No, I don't. What's yours? What are you thinking?
I'm going to hold on to that to the end.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
When we start talking about maybe what we personally think these things could be.
Okay.
Because I have a pretty strong opinion, and I think the eyes may have to do a lot with that.
Okay.
Now, the knocking thing, they're not hitting a tree. When people hit a tree, they're not doing that. They're popping into our dimension. That's the knocking sound.
Have you ever... So, I believe you, because I agree with you. I do not think they're hitting a piece of wood against a tree.
Right.
Nobody's ever seen that. I think it's similar.
No evidence left behind.
You don't
that.
see a tree, like a branch exploded against a tree.
Right.
Oh, that's so silly.
But no, I'm not. But you could make a similar noise with hitting that. You know. So I'm not saying that part is, but them making it. I don't think that they're taking two pieces of wood.
And they're not doing that with their tongue. They're not doing that either.
Have you ever heard the metal doors opening or closing on the property?
No, the metal.
Just curious.
Door, no, I've never heard nothing like that.
So in a lot of these encounters, they have wood knocks and the more, like you're saying, metaphysical side of Bigfoot. There's an association, and your answer fascinates me, with this opening, like a metal door opening and closing, and you have not had that.
No, I've never heard of that. I know of. No.
So a lot of people think that portals make that noise too, and I guess maybe nothing. Some do, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when those orbs came out of that deal, all we heard is the leaves crunching and the footsteps of them walking. Now, I got to tell you something here. They can mimic any animal, sometimes not very good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you something that just happened. I guess about a week and a half ago during deer hunting. My daughter has horses. Her horses were inside the heated stables and not close to me. So I'm in a deer stand across the river. Tanner's in one on this side of the river. And about 9:30, all of a sudden, there's a horse whinny, louder than heck, but it's right by Tanner. And then 4 knock sounds. And first thing comes in my mind, oh my God, Rachel, you better not be riding horseback here. We're hunting. And of course, she wouldn't do that. And then it happened 7 more times. So when I get done hunting, I'm not going to go over in Tanner and bug him while he's hunting. So I don't see him till a little bit after 5. The horse whinny was right by him. The knocks were going to my gifting area. There was no body to be seen. It was like less than 20 feet from him, right there. So they were invisible, but making that horse whinny sound and mocking it.
So
the next day at 10:30, it happens again, right by him.
Same exact phenomena.
And
yeah, same. Yeah.
And wait, like
same thing.
I think you were out of the room when we talked about with the owls and stuff like that. Maybe not. I don't. We've been doing an hour and a half already. Doesn't feel that long.
No.
But here in Ohio, we have the Badley owl imitations, to where it 100% sounds like a guy being a barred owl. That very distinct sound where you can tell a barred owl. and you could tell a guy doing a barred owl.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have these Bigfoot all around them doing the guy doing the barred owls.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you 2 stories. I don't know how long I got with you guys, but do you guys believe in the remote viewing thing?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident it's real. Personally.
Okay, it is real.
Yeah, we know it's real.
I mean, I know it's real, but
right.
you know
MK
what I mean?
Ultra, the government, it's disclosed.
But I don't know anything.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? As far as
right.
I know.
Right. True. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. The girls, the she squatchers, they can do it. Jen is real good at remote viewing, and so is Tammy. Jen is kind of the leader of the she squatchers. First of all, I'll tell you Tammy's deal. One time, me and John Badger were sitting in my deer stand again, the one back in the state land, and we made it there till about midnight, and we heard some stuff, but that might be a deer breaking a branch or breaking a dead stick. We don't really know what it is. And I make everybody use red beam lights, never know white lights, because you can almost, I've done it a few times, you can almost walk up on a deer and they don't really get scared of the red beam. And I don't know why. You might know why, but
They can't see it.
is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. So when
Is that what it is?
Yeah. When we coon hunt, we use red. And I haven't coon hunted in years for everybody at home because I think it may be illegal in Ohio now.
I have no idea.
But so like I said, I haven't coon hunted in years. But when you coon hunted in Ohio, you use red because they can't see it. It's that spectrum of light. They can't see deer. We wouldn't mess with deer, but when we were coon hunting and stuff like that, you could walk up a deer, possum, not any non-carnivores. Pretty much.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But I know it worked. But anyways, we get out of the stand and we get to the fence line, and there's a bridge that the farmer that bought that 80 acres, it's a semi-flatbed thing, and he just put it across there. It's really heavy duty. And we start walking to it, and I am just joking. I said, wouldn't that be something if I shine my light down there and one I got is bright? You could actually shine deer with it, red beam. And there was a cougar down there, and we kind of laughed, turned the light on, and there's a cougar down there. It has a long tail, not a short dog like a bobcat. And I always carry a pistol with me. I always do. And it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
100%.
I've told those Sasquatches, I said, I have a pistol. I'm always going to carry it. It's not for you guys. I'm not going to shoot a bear, a mother bear with cubs, but I got to have something to protect myself if I have to. So I've said that a few times. But anyways, the cougar looks at us and turns around and starts walking away. Then it stops and starts walking to us. And I said, John, maybe I better get my pistol out. I started getting it out. And from across the other side of the river, a big log comes flying at us, almost lands at our feet. That don't happen by itself.
No.
Okay. I never told the she squatchers that, not one time. And then this year, when they're going to do that Searching for Bigfoot number 10 on Tubi thing here, that documentary here, they got here, and Tammy came up to me. She said, Randy, I did a remote viewing in your place, and I've seen 20 Sasquatches here, and one of them's got a friend. I said, a friend? What? It's got a friend, and it's a cougar that they hang out together. What the hell? There's no way she would know my story because I never told nobody yet.
Yeah.
Nothing I didn't tell. So this year, back behind the house, we got a deer food plot back there. It's almost 2 acres, but it's no good anymore. We never kept it up. That's where I have people come there and sit with me. I got a little fire ring and some chairs there. But when the guy made it with the big cat, he didn't put all the brush in one pile. He windrowed a pile, then there's a plot, and then windrowed the other pile. So my couch I sit on is about 5, maybe even less, 3 feet from one of the windrows. So I'm sitting there, and I never usually do that. I decided to do it. And I write to Jen. It's not quite dark. And I hear like a wolf howl on the other side of the little creek, but really close to me. It doesn't sound right. It sounds off, but it sounds like one, but it doesn't sound right. And so I got the fire going, and I write to Jen in the text. I say, Jen, I'm sitting here at the fire ring, and I feel really weird. She writes back, why do you feel weird? Is it because you're by yourself? I write back and say, yes. Then I write to her, can you do a remote viewing of the area I'm sitting here, see if there's anything here or anything? She writes back and says, oh, God, Randy, I can't. I'm tied up on something, and I can't get away from it. So I say, okay, we're done with that. Now it's dark out. I call John Badger, the guy that's been here a lot. And I'm talking to him. I say, John, I really feel uncomfortable here. I don't think I should have did this. He said, why? I said, well, because I'm sitting out here by myself and it's totally dark. All of a sudden, I hear 2 footsteps and some brush break right behind me. I said, John, in a text message. No, I'm talking on the phone. I just hear two footsteps and some brush break right behind me. I said, I don't know. This is really weird. I said, I better go and get some more wood on the fire to keep that fire going good. So we hang up and I'm doing that. All of a sudden, my phone buzzes. And it's from Jen. She said, Randy, I just took the time and I did a little remote viewing. You got a Sasquatch that walked right up and it's standing in the brush looking at you. And there's one across that hauled at you earlier. There's no way she would have known that.
Right.
I know. And then about a few weeks before that, in the daytime, I did my gifting. I said, I'm going to go back and set up that fire ring. Now, this is in the early evening. It's not going to be dark. I'm not setting till dark. And I get there and I get the fire going. I get a massive knock sound at me. And then a couple of minutes later, 15 yards is a woods line. And I'm looking south. I see something that doesn't look right. It's kind of black. I'm looking at it. It's a Sasquatch. It comes into view for me. We watch each other for a good 30 minutes. And I said, I see you over there, but I'm not taking a picture of you. And we're watching each other. But about maybe 15 yards to the left of that, I'm going to take a picture over here. There's 3 things looking at me.
Oh.
Did you see that picture?
Yes.
That's weird. And what the heck is that? That's not Sasquatch there. That's something else. I didn't know they were looking at me. I just took a random picture.
Yeah.
Now that's a weird one there.
Extremely.
Let's take a pause right there.
Okay.
Yep.
And sorry about that break. We're back. Randy, keep on going.
Okay. Now on the state land, I never said I wouldn't do cameras back there, but now I don't do cameras anywhere. But I went back there on the state land and I brought 2 cameras with me. I brought some apples, some peanut butter, and some freezer burnt venison that we weren't going to eat anymore. Took it out of the package. I put 1 camera on a tree facing that food and stuff. I put another camera on the opposite tree, another tree facing that food. Each camera was facing each other like this. And I said, okay, you guys, on this first camera, I want the SD card to be good. I want the batteries to be good. I do not want any pictures on here, but I want you to ruin the camera. I mean, I never wanted to work ever again. Make it not work ever again. On the next camera, I want a picture that I set it up. I want a picture of deer, bear, and ravens going through here. And I said, do your magic. Take all this food and stuff. I do not want no picture of you. Then I want a picture of me when I go back and get the camera. I waited 2 or 3 days. I go back there. Guess what? The first camera was twisted. The batteries are good. SD card was good. There was no picture of nothing on there. And they made that camera not work. To this day, it doesn't work. On the next camera, when I get the SD card back home, there was picture of me when I set it up. There was picture of deer, bear, and ravens going through there. There was no picture of them taking all that food. Because when those animals went through there, like I said, the food was still there.
Right.
And then there was a picture of me when I went and got the camera. Exactly what I asked for, exactly what I got. To this day, that camera still doesn't work. So the next day, I told Terry's son, Tanner, he's like 30-some years old now, 32, I think. I said, let's go back there and let's set down a couple dead trees close to that there. And let's just sit there. We'll shut our eyes and meditate. Well, that's a hard one for me to do, to meditate. I got too much energy to sit there and meditate like this here. And so we're doing that. And as soon as I tell you what he says to me, something happens to me. All of a sudden he said, oh my God, Randy, that really bad smell, like rotten meat, dead, wet dog smell. I get pushed off my tree. I get shoved off like this here. Not hard, but I get shoved off of it. I never had the smell. Not one time. And my smeller works good. There is a reason why I didn't have the smell. Sasquatch does not smell bad. They put that smell in a person's mind. They don't smell bad. That's what that is. There's been times Doug Hychek and his recording guys been with me, and Tanner. We're back in my gifting area. And they'll get the smell I don't. So Doug told me, he said, Randy, sing. I said, sing? He said, yeah, you play in a band, sing something. So I sang a country song, and I stopped. All three of them got the smell. I didn't. I started singing, it went away. I stopped singing, they got it. 4 different times I did that. They got the smell. When I started singing, it went away. When I stopped singing, they got it. I never got it one time, not once. Not once have I ever had that bad smell, and people have had it with me, and I don't get it.
Can you describe this?
Put it in your mind. They don't smell bad. That's not true.
Did they describe the smell?
Yeah, like a really rotten, almost throw up smell.
Mm.
Like that there. Now, the only smell I've ever had was this year, a skunky smell. I'm back in my gifting area. Oh my God, I smell a skunk. It's right by me. And I'm looking around. God, I don't want to get sprayed. I'm looking around. There's no skunk. So I start walking to where I do the dice and all that. And it's not there. I go back to where I do my peanut butter. Where it was at, it's not there. I go to my dice. It's there. I go to my next spot. I come back. It's not there at my dice. I go to my next spot. It's there. So it followed me around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go down the trail to go to the creek. It's following me. I would stop. It's there. I go back where I smelled it. It's not there. I'd go back where I stopped. It's not there. I keep walking. It's there. So they follow me. So they're giving me that smell to let me know they're there without me hearing them walk.
Mm-hmm. That's, I think, the first time I've heard that explanation of them putting the smell in your mind.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true. That's what they do.
Well,
they do not have bad body odor.
I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to have that experience and like in a group.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like we've already discovered tonight, Randy's very close to his Bigfoot, like his group of Bigfoot. So, I mean, I don't think anybody else would really know that.
Mm-mm.
Right? If you're close to your Bigfoot, but you're by yourself, you would never know that somebody else would experience something. Now, do you think it's to off-put those people? Or do you think it's an accident?
Yep. No, it's not an accident. When somebody's out in the woods and they get that really terrible smell, because the Sasquatch don't want them there.
Okay.
If they get that really terrible scream and all that, they don't want them there. You know why they don't want them there? Because that person is trying to get evidence. Get the hell out of here. That's why. I'm not trying to get evidence. That's why I'm getting interaction. That's why.
And I wonder too, with people when they have their experiences and they do smell it, you know, they're looking around and they never see it. Mm-hmm. Might not even be close. Might not even be near at all.
He's already said, you know, if they might even be there.
Exactly.
On at least the physical plane.
Mm-hmm. And just want you gone.
I mean,
exactly
I don't blame them.
Exactly. That's why they throw rocks and all that kind of stuff. And they could hit you if they wanted to.
Absolutely.
They're trying to get you out and scare the heck out of you, and it works.
I've said that same thing about 100 times, and last week. If Bigfoot wanted to hit you with a rock,
I still think he'd hit
you with a rock.
He'd make an amazing, unhittable MLB pitcher. Someone needs to train one.
Big chunk of asphalt.
Yeah.
Come whirling at you.
Exactly right. Yeah. And just like I said before, it took me a while to get to this point, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, how many years have you been at the property?
Oh, since 79.
Okay. And then how many years have you been working to build this relationship?
13.
So, I mean, that's a long time.
A long time, yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lifetime for most people in research and
it.
Maybe even 14, because I think the book was written 12 years. And here's why that book was written. I used to watch those shows and stuff. But they're wrong. But I used to watch them. And then I started getting all this stuff here. And I said, I got to reach out to somebody. I got so much stuff going on here. I got to reach out to somebody. And somehow I found this Mike Quast and all that. And he started coming here. And he used to be the total flesh and blood guy, but he's changed. Pretty much anybody that's ever came here, they walk out amazed. And they're not that they're going to see a Sasquatch, but there's always some kind of activity.
Their perspective has changed.
Their perspective has changed. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It opens your mind to that other side of Bigfoot. Because when I first started learning about Bigfoot, I mean, I've always believed for as long as I can remember in Bigfoot. I believed it existed, but I was always, it's a physical thing out there.
That's how this thing got started.
Right, exactly.
Believing in Bigfoot.
Uh-huh. And so... And then since we've been doing the show, it's like, oh, okay, there's a lot more going on. And you got to factor in all that evidence. It's not, you can't just throw it away because so much people experience it.
Oh my gosh.
It's you're unable to throw it away anymore.
The throwing away stuff
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just throwing it to the side just because, that can't be possible. It's something else going on. It's not the Bigfoot I know or that I think I know. It's not. So actually having a place where people can go to and experience that side of it. And if you believe and you're experiencing that, you're going to know it's not flesh and blood purely.
No, it's not. They've been searching for these things for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, and never really got nothing.
Correct.
Because they never really will.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the people that think there's some regular big animal hiding behind a tree because they're going out there hitting a tree, whooping, doing all that stuff. They will never get nothing. Yeah, they might get some knocks on back or that, but that's not interaction with them. That's not like what I get. It's not even close. Because they never will get that unless they change your attitude on it. There's no such thing as a woo with Bigfoot or going down the rabbit hole. That is what Bigfoot is, and that's what they always are, and that's what they can always do.
And I do think the community as a whole is starting to come around to that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they,
maybe, yeah.
As far as at least what we've experienced, we do Bigfoot conferences and everything from all around the country, and
you go to them and you put them on.
Both.
Well, both actually.
Well, then you need me to go to them.
Well, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
I'm joking with you.
We're not. We're not. We'll talk about it after the recording's over.
Well, you know what? Somebody needs to start telling the truth. Okay, here's what I came up with. Maybe somebody else has to. There's wannabes. It's no, I'm not putting them down. They want to believe, but they've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
There are people like that. There are big people like that.
Right. There is.
I'm one.
There's believers. They might have seen one 20 years ago across the road. And I understand why those people think there's some regular animal. I understand that because that's what they've only experienced.
Absolutely.
Then there's knowers. Knowers are the ones that have interaction and know what they are. There's a lot more knowers out there than people know, but they're too scared to say anything because they don't want to be teased or ridiculed.
Absolutely.
And I think that's changing a lot too. I think finally we're getting to areas to where you can talk. I mean, when we do these conferences, at least on our side of the country, you're on our side of the country, but you're still probably 12 hours north?
Probably
about 12 hours away from us. So we go 12 hours the other way for conferences, and because we live right on 75. So anybody on this, they know you can go all the way to Miami Beach.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's changing. With our conference last year, we had, and I won't give any names of anybody, I never will. But when we did our encounter share portion of our conference, it was amazing the locals that turned up.
Right, yeah.
People that, I'm not going to, like I said, not name any names. People that made fun of people for seeing Bigfoot were there sharing about Bigfoot. And I think it's in the older gentlemen, older people, because in their generation and their time, it was the best thing that could happen if you said you seen Bigfoot was being laughed at. That's the best. I mean, that was the best option you had. Whether somebody throw you out of a bar or, running out of town was probably the worser ends of it. So to have this kind of turnaround to where these people are feeling comfortable to come back and share, just even, like you said, seeing something. If you just see it, you don't know what it is. It's just, that's Bigfoot. Like I joke about what I think Bigfoot is all the time. I really don't know. I have opinions like anybody, but I don't know. I don't know what Bigfoot is. But I know I seen one. Whatever Bigfoot is, I seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get into, Randy, if you're open to it, because we're right at the 2-hour mark. I would like to get into the mind speak before we kind of start wrapping things up. So you would be open to it. Start sharing some of your mind speak encounters.
Well, the best one is when they told me what they're not.
But let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I'm back there doing this year I'm at 180 jars of peanut butter and too many apples to count. Since March, I quit counting apples. But just like last year, for a while they have quit taking the stuff. They're not even moving my stuff. But that happened last year too. But anyways, I asked them, can you guys, and like I said, I always say you guys, whether they're male or female. I said, can you guys tell me what you are? I really want to know. So I do my thing there, and I decided to walk through the woods. I get almost through the woods, and then all of a sudden I get stopped in my tracks, and they told me what they're not. It was exactly what they said. They said, we don't go south for the winter. We do not bury our dead. We do not live in caves. We do not go in the swamp in Minnesota when it's 40 below out. We do not live on your earth. We are interdimensional, metaphysical, but we come to your earth all the time. We like to come to your earth. We go in the caves. We go in the swamp. We go in the woods. We don't need to go deep in the woods because we can be there and you don't even know we're there. That was my mind speaking. I said, oh my God, that was great. It was so clearer than me and you talking to each other. That's how clear it was. That was that mind speak.
Did it have, and I know like you're saying it was internal, it was in your mind. They were, relaying this. Did it have any, I don't even know how to explain it. Did it have a gender assigned to it? Did it have a feeling assigned to it? The voice, inside your head? It may not. I'm just asking questions.
No, it didn't.
Was it in your own voice?
No, not that I remember. What?
Was it in your own voice? Or was it just like somebody else in your head?
Somebody else in my head.
Okay.
Somebody else in my head. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know the answer to that. I'm just genuinely curious about that.
Yeah, I've wondered that too. Like if they're speaking, and it's obviously spoke English.
It wasn't a female voice. I can tell you that.
Okay. I almost think of, I don't know. There's videos online or like YouTube you can find where people they claiming they're channeling other entities speaking through them. And when they talk, it's this very it's a male voice, but it's like monotone-ish. I don't know. I was just curious if it was similar to that. Maybe I can find an example.
That's a good way to put it. Monotone. Now I'm something else to tell you. I got 3 names. Ralphophilia.
All right, wait. Write this down.
Okay.
Ralphophilia?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Ralphophilia. That's the big black one. I don't know how to spell it. Darwima and Sushi.
Sushi?
Yep.
Like the meal?
We were cut out.
Oh, like the Japanese raw fish?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
I just want to, the reason I had him write them down is I'm curious. I'm going to go through some of the archives we have access to for Bigfoot encounters. I'm going to search those names and see, because you said like, Ravenhawk, you had, you've seen her Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious if maybe they're seen by other people as well. That's later research. I just wanted the names for that.
Right. Yeah.
Continue, Randy.
I got something else to tell you. Brian Glenn, that has seen Sasquatch at my place. He's been in. Sometimes you'll sit in my deer stand across the river. It's one of those portable ones that I bought. It's a 2-seater, and he'll have ravens come to him, right to his face, and hover and look at him, and then fly away. It's happened several times. Now that's weird. Yeah. He's had young kids in the woods talking that he can hear. Oh. So as Mike the book writer, same thing.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there's no young kids in these woods here at 2 a.m.
No.
He has sat in my deer stand before till 4 or 5 a.m. Anyways, this spring in the Civic Center in Bemidji, Minnesota, I can say the town, Bemidji, they had one of those little conferences where they had the dowsing rod guy there. They had the psychic lady, the tarot card lady, a whole bunch of different booths. Mm-hmm. And he went to it. And he talked to the guy that had the dowsing rods. He said, "Can I hold them?" And the guy said, "Yeah." He picks them up and they turn right to him automatically. And the guy said, "Oh, I've never seen that before." A couple of booths down, there was this channeling lady, psychic lady. She's seen it and she come up to him. "I've never seen that before that quick." And they got to talking. And he said, "I got a friend. Yeah, you got a friend that's got a lot of Sasquatch evidence and activity at his place." She even said the name of the town.
Wow.
Should I say it? I can say it.
Go ahead.
I will say it. Black Duck.
Yeah.
I'm north of Black Duck. I'm south of Canada. Anyways, she said, "Come down. I want to do some channeling about his place, Randy's place. And I need to hold your hands." They do that, and she's talking in some kind of weird language. And she gets done. She says, "The Sasquatch at Randy's place know when you come there, and I have a name for one of them. It's a short name of the real name." He says, "What is it?" She said, "Ralph."
Mm-hmm. Ralphophilia.
Exactly right.
Yep.
Exactly right.
So coincidence, right?
Just coincidence.
Yeah, they are, right. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Out of all the names, yes.
There's been a white one seen on my place too. I've seen the red one and the black one.
Who is the red one? Who is the red
Go
one?
ahead.
I know. Is one of these names associated with the red one? Or not? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
But
know.
Ralph Ophelia is the black one.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I got something else to tell you.
Go ahead.
This last year, I'm doing my gifting thing, and I said, I want to see one of you guys. Come right to me. I'm gonna go sit in this deer stand. So in this deer stand, it's in a little opening area, not even 50 yards away for when I do my peanut butter. But the peanut butter's in the woods. I got a little opening area. There's some pine trees there. It's in the fall of last fall. Bunch of leaves all over the ground. The plywood around that deer stand is 9.5 feet up. So I could sit in a chair and my head pokes out and I can see. So I'm sitting in that chair and all of a sudden I get dizzy. My eyes go out of focus. What the heck? And I go like this. I go down. Put my elbows on my knees. Not very long, maybe a minute or so. I get up. Oh my God, I'm still dizzy. I go back down again. All of a sudden there's a footstep right by me in the crunchy leaves. I look up. There's a Sasquatch right there, black one. I could have touched his cheek. That close to me. I look at it, looks at me. It takes another step. I turn like that to look at this backside. It disappeared in front of my eyes. Poof, gone. If it would have walked off, I would have heard the leaves crunching.
Right.
It disappeared just like a poof, gone.
Snap your
After it
finger.
was gone, I wasn't dizzy or out of focus eyes anymore.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yep. So it came to me just like I asked.
Just
for.
like you asked, yeah. They
Just
seem
like I
to
asked
respond very well
It had a
to.
cone head. It was black because it was still daylight out. It wasn't dark. It was like maybe 8 in the evening,
Yeah.
around 8 o'clock.
Is the cone head pretty universal for your Sasquatches?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And they got a regular nose. They don't got a flat nose like a big old gorilla and gorilla lips. They look like a human face because they're a people.
Okay.
They're a people.
They're a people. They're
Now,
not an animal.
Do you mean that as
Unless
in
we're animals, then that's animal, but
Right.
Okay.
it's a people.
That's
With
why I was
families, young ones, everything.
Yeah, he's not saying human.
That's why I want to ask.
Mhm.
I just want for everybody at home for you to clarify that, Randy, if you will, because I think we agree. I really do. When you say there are people, do you mean that they are humans, or do you mean that they are an intelligent, developed thing?
They're intelligent, developed thing. They're not humans. They're a different race.
So I agree with that statement. And
They're not from Earth.
So I agree that that they're people in the way that they are intelligent, smart, feelings, all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make that clear for everybody at home that maybe hasn't read the book and maybe hasn't got to know you yet, that much. Because
Right.
I agree that they are 100% as in people, as in intelligent, caring. They make their own decisions. There's probably bad ones out there, and there's many good ones out there. All that. Well, sorry, I just wanted to make that for the people at home that this may be their first time hearing you, so they know what you mean.
Now, I had a psychic lady come here one time, and not that I believe in all psychics, but she's a friend of the book writer. I call him the book writer.
Oh wait, Randy, I think we finally lost you. All right. Well, Randy will hopefully be back in just a second, Jay.
You want to go ahead and
We're going to pause it.
Flavors of the Forest coming right up.
And we're back.
Okay. Mike, the one that wrote the book, I call him book writer.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought a friend that she's a psychic. I guess she's a really good one. And so I was going to take her to where I do my gifting. She said, don't tell me nothing about anything. So we started walking down the power line, and she actually runs to the right, to the west, gets in the power line woods there by the highway there, because there is a teepee there. I never told her nothing. She ran right to it. It's a small teepee, about 3 feet tall. No root base. It's not leaning against a tree or nothing. It's self-standing. And there was a deer kill that spring, nothing but hair, and they had the tail up in a pine tree laying there. I could see where they walked out that spring and broke some trees out, and they put a Y stick upside down in another pine tree like this here. So she run right to that teepee, looking at it, thought it was a really good one. Then we get down the power line. She takes off again. She goes ahead of all of us. She takes it left, goes down one of the trails, goes right to where I do my gifting. She said, "Oh my God, Randy, you got so much going on here." She said, "The red one and the black one do not get along at all. You have a lot of elementals." She said, "Don't ever bring those girls out here by themselves, the young ones, ever." She didn't really embellish why. She just said, "Don't ever bring them by themselves." But now since Bristol, she was 11 years old, seeing the Sasquatch, Bristol won't walk with me no more.
And that's the 11-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, Terry had to go up to her daughter's house, the one that seen the Sasquatch, had to go up to her daughter's house and have her paint a bedroom or something. But she left the girls with me. She said, "Don't take them out to the woods," like I maybe would do, you know. So after about an hour, I get bored. And I say, "Hey, let's just walk down the power line. We'll just do that." And I get out of the house there and I start walking. Oh, I forgot my phone. I don't need my phone. So they're walking behind me. And okay, our power line's got a black plastic wrap 10 feet up, so that raccoons and other animals can't crawl up there and chew on the wire.
Okay.
So in 40 acres is a quarter mile, square by quarter mile. And the next 40 acres would be my daughter's father-in-law. And down there, I see something big and black. And this was really dumb. I said, "Well, I don't remember a tree," talking to myself. Of course, there's no tree down there by the power line pole. That was cleared years ago. Ain't no tree down there. And I get about 150 yards from it. It's a Sasquatch. It's a black one. It's about 4 feet from the power line pole, but it's even with that black plastic wrap. It's a 10-footer. So I turn around. Girls, get up to me right now. They get up to me, and it's gone that quick. I didn't realize Bristol was watching it. And Bristol says, "Grandpa, I just seen a tall, hairy black giant walk in the woods." She's seen it walk in the woods. I didn't. We get home. I have never talked to her about no Patterson Gibbon film or none of that. We get home, and if a bear is walking, standing on his hind feet, its arms are up like this. Pause.
Yep.
I said, "Bristol, shut your eyes and imagine how it walked." How did it walk? She walked, arms swinging back and forth. Arms are down by the knees, past the knees. She showed me how it walked. And in December, I'm walking down that same trail, and it was standing down there again. Same one, because it was even, same height. And this time, I'm not taking my eyes off of it. I'm thinking, I'm going to film that thing. I get my phone out, got my eyes on it. I'm doing this here. My eyes on it, but I'm kind of looking like this here, trying to get the video thing going. I did get it going, but all I got was the grass. Guess what it did? I'm only 100 yards from it. Poof, disappeared.
Just like the other one.
Poof, poof.
Yep.
No, the other one walked.
And then poof.
This one disappeared.
I meant the one right beside you that disappeared that you could reach out and touch.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, like that.
Just
story.
like that. Yes. Okay.
Just like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly like that.
So you witnessed it happening again.
Yeah. So they are flesh and blood when they're here, but they're more than that. They're more than that.
That's amazing. You've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. Well, they're here a lot.
Right. That sounds like it.
Because they trust me.
Like you said, you built a rapport
with them.
I built it. Yes, exactly right.
This isn't just something you can go out, and I 100% believe that. This isn't something you can just go out and do. Because I mentioned TJ earlier.
I got a question. Have you ever seen Todd Standing's evidence or his videos and photographs of Bigfoot?
Yeah, I have. I don't. Okay, here's the truth about me. I got so much going on here, and there's so much fake stuff out there.
Yes.
I don't need to do that and validate my stuff because I know it's real because I've seen it with my own eyes.
Correct.
My wife has seen it. The kids have seen it. So I don't watch that stuff a lot.
Okay. I was just curious if it was similar because those ones always look kind of funky to me, but
yeah,
they all look kind of funky
too.
Okay.
And if you look at that one thing, I don't even know Todd Standing.
Right.
I did talk to him one time, and he wanted $6,000 to do a talk. That's ridiculous.
Oh, never mind then. Yes. Yeah. 100% ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
all right. Have a good day.
Here's what I read about him. His wife is a makeup artist.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's true or not, but that one there, they say it's him.
I've seen
I
that
don't know
too.
that. I can't say that's him.
Now, was it Thinker Thunker?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did the eye and mouth ratios?
Okay.
Yes.
And it did. No, okay. Everybody at home, I'm 100%. I've been drinking this whole interview.
It's okay.
And I'm talking on my butt. But I think Thinker Thunker did that with because they do the measurements on videos. And I think it did match Todd's, but it did not match, like, I guess, other credible Bigfoot. Like the same thing with foot morphology.
Yeah.
Where
exactly.
you have a measurement key. You know, our foot is 1/3 as wide as it is long.
Absolutely.
Sasquatch seems to follow the 2-to-1. It's, it's twice as long as it is wide. And I think that a lot of those Bigfoot at the Standings property on film followed human facial features, not what is believed to be credible Sasquatch facial features.
Okay.
And I do not know that for fact. That is what I'm trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look up the thing about Standing's wife.
And I don't know either. There's so many different people with different examples, but that one's one of the more controversial ones. So I thought that's why I asked about that one in particular.
Okay, I won't say no names, but what really irritates me, I can't be an authority on your guys' house. I can be authority on that house or that room there because I'm seeing it.
Yep.
I cannot be. What irritates me is because I was supposed to help book a conference in Seven Winds Casino in Hayward, Wisconsin. So I know what the guys are getting, what they were trying to get,
who
they were trying to book.
Okay.
The documentary stars. Okay.
Yep. On the same page.
Not one of them have ever seen a Sasquatch. They can't be an authority on them, and they're getting that big money to talk about something they don't even know what they're talking about.
Or you haven't even experienced
they're leading the
firsthand.
masses wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They've never seen one.
Mm.
That's what's getting me.
Yeah, and I think you're on the same page with us. We just want the truth. We don't
exactly.
There's no agenda behind it. The truth is the truth, and that's all we want.
I don't care. So we cut out.
Exactly right. And if I was making stuff up after 13 years, I couldn't remember my lies that I'm telling.
Oh gosh.
But my stories never changed because the truth doesn't change. It's easy to remember.
Absolutely.
Easy. It's burnt into your head.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, in my head.
We're after 2 hours. You want to start doing the wrap up thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, this has been amazing.
Randy, I just want to say before we start, I have a couple more questions and comments, and I know you have a lot more to talk about. We're going to have you on again if you're open to it, because I know
open to as much as you want.
Because I know we didn't even touch 10% of what you have to say.
Oh, there's
we didn't know.
Yeah.
So just with the palatability of a podcast, that we have to kind of space these things out, and where we are, it is well past 10 o'clock. Do you have any questions or any things you want to get them to before?
Nothing that. No, my questions are other things that I'd like to get into, so we'll save that for the next one. My big questions that I'd like to get.
You want to save
absolutely.
it for the next one?
Yes, because it will open a whole other can of worms.
Okay. One thing I had was okay. So the ones that you seen coming out of the portal, this is a while ago. This is probably an hour ago. We started talking about this. They had glowing red eyes.
Oh, when the one came back and it wasn't in an orb looking for him.
They had a glowing red eyes.
Came out, it was in an orange orb looking for him. We didn't see no eyes.
Okay.
We just heard the footsteps in the leaves.
Is that very common on the property, or was that like a one-off thing? Or
that was the one time we've ever seen that.
Okay, the only time you ever seen the glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
Now, Jay told me you're probably open to hearing opinions.
Absolutely.
On what we may think that you're encountering.
Yeah, of course I am.
Do you want to go first?
Well, I guess I had a question pertaining to that.
Okay, well, do whatever before.
I was wondering if you think the phenomena is just Bigfoot themselves, like that particular spot, your property, or if it's the property itself that is, I guess, producing this phenomena.
I think it's the property itself because I've seen some other things that we didn't even talk about yet.
Okay.
So
I've
that's
seen
a little
some other things that's way out there.
teaser for round 2.
Yeah, it is because that was the thing I was talking
And the
about.
dogs, we got 2 golden retrievers now and a little mini golden doodle. And just a couple of weeks ago, they went crazy looking at something in the kitchen, and it was kind of scary. There was something growling at us.
That's not great.
Did I send you those 2 videos?
No.
You sent it to me with
okay,
the
sorry.
ghost app. With the ghost app.
Yeah. Oh, so you heard the thing growling at us. You heard
Oh
me
yes.
talking, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You'll
What
have to
the
play
hell
that
is
after.
that?
Yeah, I know that. I think that'll be a part 2.
Yeah. What is that?
I mean, should we even get into our thoughts this episode, or what do you think?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll stop talking. I'll listen.
No, it's
Well-
Randy. It's not you. We're.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing. I think it'd be good to get into our thoughts, and then because I think it'll spur conversation for the next one.
Okay. Why don't you go first?
Well,
I know we have similar opinions.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most I don't know, the highly detailed or documented property with that I know of that that I've been connected to personally, just from the
better
book.
documented. The only other property I can think of, of.
Yes, absolutely. And now knowing you and or talking to you, recently extensively, I mean, getting to know you, I mean, 100% trust what you're saying. And these Bigfoot, to me, I mean, I always said, it was physical when I first started. Now I'm on to it's more than that. With these guys, because I always break down Bigfoot, I think there might be a physical one that's always physical. Maybe it's something different, though. It might be different phenomena, like that all kind of are under the same umbrella of a Bigfoot type thing, but I don't know. And I'm
Just because people seeing a hairy, tall thing in the woods calling it Bigfoot.
Mhm.
That there may be the metaphysical Bigfoot. There may be an ape out in the Pacific Northwest.
There may be a flesh and blood type, ape or something,
You
or
know what?
something else.
There may be
entirely.
5 things that, just because the U.S. is the world is terming it Bigfoot.
Mhm.
It may be a whole umbrella of things, but I think the metaphysical, the thing you've been experiencing, is a big chunk of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But I think what my best guess is from when it first started, it seemed to start very slow. And then as it went on, progress and progress, and as you gain trust, it really exploded. I mean, that's the best way I can say it.
Yes, it did.
And I'm thinking things like that we've talked about with people with like just paranormal things and getting into the Fae, and you said elementals too.
I had that written down.
I'm just wondering if you think maybe Bigfoot is part of that realm, or if it is something else entirely. I don't know.
It's part of that realm.
So you think that they are in the fairy, like you could label them under fairies or elementals?
And I seen the fairy too. I didn't even want to get into that because that's way out there. But I seen one this year.
I do not think it's way out there. First off, just so you know.
Yeah, I seen one.
What Jay
with
is,
my own eyes.
so the fairies do not the modern understanding or the modern vision of a fairy is not correct.
It's not Peter Pan, Tinkerbell.
It's not Tinkerbell, which they can look
They
like
can,
that.
yeah.
But when we talk about the Fae, Randy, on our show, we've done a lot of research into the Fae. It is not an American, it's not a European phenomenon, it's a worldwide phenomenon. And you just change out the word with the same definition across the planet. Africa has extensive folklore with these type of beings. North America, now something you said earlier, and if you can't tell me, and I agree with Jay that I think you're dealing with the Fae in some way, shape, or form, or elementals, the Fae. North America talks about groups of the Fae as the lost tribes or the unconnected people. And what did you say they were? People. Not that they're humans, that they're people. They're intelligent, sentient beings. They're not apes, though. They're not just a gorilla out there, a really advanced gorilla running around. And their ability to morph into trees, and this something I've written down, the trickster element, the hiding your wallet, the messing with the trails, the cameras, the hitting the camper. But like you said, you have a very respectful relationship with your group that that lives on the property. So, but they still have that trickster element. They still have that thing. So all across most of the North American tribes, we see that as a thorough string with these lost people and or these unconnected peoples, the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
That when we've talked about it, we've warned about it on our show with a lot of people. Is their jokes may go too far for human physicality. Not that they're being mean about it or evil about it, that they don't have the same limits that we do. So it's kind of hard to understand when you're taking a joke too far.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
So I think and I don't think you've had too many of those experiences. Like you said, the busting up the side of the camper, I think was a good example of maybe getting up to the edge of that. Getting up to the edge of inappropriate, behaviors as far as we as humans consider. And I have a thing with the eyes. So I wrote that down a while ago, and I said I would talk about it. So there are some legends, depending on which type of fae you're talking about here in North America. They will not shapeshift in front of eyes. They won't shapeshift when they are being watched, is how it's described.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put these dolls, you draw eyes on a stick figure, I kind of wonder if that stops them from shapeshifting, coming from the Fae realm into our realm. So it may not. Yeah. It may have actually stopped them from entering areas. So a lot of things, like people would carve eyes into trees when they didn't want the Fae around and that kind of stuff.
Well, I think you're right on to something. It's something definitely happened.
So when you said the eyes, that really, really stuck out to me because I've never really talked about that in the show because most of the stuff didn't matter when we were talking about it with the show. And the structure. So we talked about special geometries earlier, and I think you're 100% right in your feelings that they are from another dimension, a side realm. I don't know what to call it. The other, they're from somewhere else, but they interact with us. And like you said, they're most. I don't think physical is the right word for it when they're here. I think they have a physical presence. But like you said, if you try to shoot one, it's not going to kill it.
No,
it's just going to make it mad.
Yep.
I was just going to say with that, because I believe wherever that other realm or that other dimension is, I think it's still like attached. Here.
It's attached.
It's here. It's just at a different frequency. Like when you're listening to the radio, you just turn the dial. The radio hasn't moved. Nothing's moved, but you're getting a whole different sound, a whole different station, a whole different frequency. And I feel like that's here and it's attached to us. And I feel like humans in the past, and whatever that realm is, if it's Fae realm or Fae realm, spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, but I think maybe we had a connection to it. And I think that
makes all sense to me.
I think our subconscious has a connection to it. I think that's why, your thoughts can manifest things into reality here. Like when you think of somebody or you think of things, and then like you're thinking of a person and then that person calls you on the phone. It's some kind of interconnected, something we all have that we can't see, but it's through that other world. And I think that world, it could also be created by our minds and our thoughts and our subconscious. And if these things are...
You guys know Robin Haynes?
No.
That name sounds familiar.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, she's one of those big psychics. She knows a lot about Sasquatch. She told me when I got dizzy, my eyes went out of focus. She said that wasn't infrasound. She said they're at a higher frequency and I'm at a lower one, and that's what messed me up.
Sure. That would mess you up. I mean, it's talking about biologically, that would mess you up if you were near. So, you ever seen really big tuning forks?
Have I ever?
Yeah. Really big ones. Well, you're in the music industry. You're in the music industry. You've seen them, but for everybody at home, they can mess you up if you're near too big of a tuning fork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they like you just said, we are physical, electrical beings with.
Terry just got home.
Oh, okay.
The dogs are barking.
I'm like, well, okay. The Fae do not want them to know
about the tuning forks.
Randy's gone. Randy's been. The whole interview, I've been waiting for hands to come through that door behind him, and just take him. Let's pause it. And we're back. The dogs have calmed down.
There we go. Well, when you mentioned earlier them peeing on your stuff, urinating on your stuff, and you're thinking maybe you did it to something them while you were out there. I had the thought, if these worlds are interconnected in a way that we can't see,
You may have been.
yeah, you might have been peeing on,
right on
like their living room in something that they have, like their bed and their world that you didn't see. So I'm wondering, like you said, I think that may be the reason. I think your thoughts are right, but you might have been peeing on something important that was completely
invisible to you.
Yes, invisible.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So we're barely touching on the Fae with it. Like, we've done dozens of hours of episodes on this, and probably over 100 hours of research onto this on the North American Fae subject.
But it's awesome having someone currently having interactions.
Well, I wanted to ask Randy if he feels like that may be the thing, because he may not feel that way.
Okay.
What do you feel like after our opinions? They're just opinions. We know nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you guys are onto some right opinions. That's how I feel.
Okay.
And so going off of that, like Jay just said, I do think it's awesome to have somebody continuing to have active experience with this.
Yeah, it's all the time. It ain't like something happened 20 years ago and I'm talking about. No, it's all the time.
So I
see what they did to the marbles. I didn't even tell you that one.
Okay, so we're opening next episode with many things.
Yeah, I got a lot more to tell you. Things that they've done.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. If it wasn't, I have 3 babies, Randy. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's these episodes can't go super, super late anymore.
Sure.
But do you have anything else to add?
Well, I guess not to add more than that, I'm just honored to be able to finally talk to you about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And after reading the book, I've been fascinated since. So this just feels coming full circle here. This is very fulfilling to me, and I very much appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I appreciate. I want to do this because I want to get the truth out there,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important. I think it's important you do. I really do. Because like we talked about already this episode, and we've talked about on our show many, many times, that the big problem with, let's say, Bigfoot researchers, UFO researchers, paranormal researchers, cryptid researchers, is that, well, that doesn't fit into my theory, so I'm going to throw this encounter out.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the research, or these people are doing the research opposite or backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You gather all of the data and then try to make a theory based on that.
Right.
And I think your encounters, your property is a good example of seeing that if you just want the flesh and blood Bigfoot, yeah, you can go through your property, your encounters, you can find those things, but you're going to ignore a whole lot just to get to,
Nope.
Sorry, cut out, just to get to that refined, flesh and blood, quote unquote, Bigfoot, or vice versa. If you think Bigfoot's an extraterrestrial, your property, orbs and portals and all that, you could just take those encounters and ignore a lot of the other stuff. And I don't know, like you said, you don't give a lot of opinions, and that's probably the way that's proper. Because like we've already said many times in this episode, we don't know anything.
Right.
I mean, we have opinions and we have thoughts, and you have experiences.
Yeah. I'm not even a researcher anymore. I don't go to other people's places or anything. I'm going to lay something new on you. I'm an interactor.
That's the best way to be.
I like that. Yeah.
As we wrap up here,
with them. I'm not researching them, because then that'd be taking pictures and trying to get evidence off them, and I ain't doing that anymore.
And I think I agree with you. Like I said, I wasn't a biologist. I dealt with endangered species research, right? And I mean, we've been on stage in the biggest Bigfoot conference in the world saying that, personally, me saying that collecting DNA evidence at this point is pointless.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Okay, here's another thing. As a scientist, as you was, once in a while they find a new species, right? Some kind of new bug or some kind of new thing, right?
Every day.
Every day.
But they weren't looking for that because they didn't know it existed, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they find it in the weirdest places.
Okay. They've been searching for Sasquatch for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, and never really got nothing, because they never really will, because they're not some animal hiding behind a tree.
I do not think you can just put them in a net. You're right.
Exactly what they are. They're more than that.
You need a Faraday cage.
Now that may actually catch them. But I want to reverberate Jay's sentiment that it is a super honor to have you. Jay's been telling me about you for at least 2 years.
I didn't even know that, man.
No, it really is. And I think Jay commented on a Facebook post, and
Well, I've been following his Facebook
I
for
know,
a while.
but recently, I'm just saying how this got started.
Oh, yes.
This
We were sitting here talking, and we were sitting here working on episodes and stuff, and I was going through Facebook, and you had just posted something again, and so I brought it up again, and he's like, "Why don't you just message him?" I mean, all right, I'll shoot him a message.
And here you are, a week later.
Yeah, well, it was an hour after that. You called me.
You just left. You just left the house.
Yeah.
I
didn't get home yet.
I was on the phone with Randy for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Sure.
But I think, I would love to try to make it up there to your property at least once. Maybe that's one of the goals for next year.
Yeah.
Maybe make a weekend of it.
Absolutely.
Long weekend. I just want to say, Randy, do you have anything you want to plug? Do you have any, do you want to plug your business? I don't care. It's, it's up to you.
No, not really.
How about your Facebook page? Why don't you tell everybody where they can follow the events of the active?
Oh, okay. I had a friend. He came here from Ohio, him and his wife, George Workman. That's his station mate. You know him?
No.
George Workman. And he said, Randy, you got so much going on here. You need to make a page to keep your pictures in order. We'll make it private. And so he did that. It's called Randy's Bigfoot Research. And then I said to him, when people are saying stuff on Facebook, the stuff that's not true, don't you chime in on it? He said, Randy, you're going to learn.
Oh,
you know what?
Yep.
Useless battle.
He said, you'll learn.
I don't comment on anybody's things in this field.
You are right. I did it yesterday. I shouldn't have never done it. But people were calling me. They were saying, you're nothing but a liar. What kind of drugs do you want? Oh, my God.
Yep.
So I'm not doing it anymore.
So we'll put a link in it. I highly suggest everybody follow it. I've been a member since you told me about it.
Yeah.
Just seeing all the posts, the posts and the pictures of just the activity at the property.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's every day. There's something happening every day.
It slowed down now. It did that last year, too, and the year before at this time. It slowed down.
Well, it's cold. I don't blame them.
And for one thing, all my little trinkets, they're covered in snow. I'd have to go out there every day.
Yeah.
Snow out. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
It's winter in northern Minnesota. Even the Fae don't want to come out.
Even the Fae don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I like ice fishing, and we'll talk about that after we get off air here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know exactly where you live just because of ice fishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But so I just want to, Randy, we have a tradition here with ending this podcast. We're going to count down from 3. We're all going to scream bye as loud as we can, and then the outro will play. And then just hang on for a minute after that, because after the recording's over, we'll talk more.
Sure.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast. Remember, the best way to support the show is share it with a friend. But if you are craving more of the Jade clones
and more from Mr. E,
there's always extra content on Patreon
and our paid member space on cryptidsofthecorn.com.
We'll catch you next time with more exciting, fun, and informative information. Bye.